What's up, guys? Welcome to a special edition of Press Pass Live. Um, yeah, this thing's going to start off a little weird. I'm going to go ahead. That's my disclaimer, is that this thing is weird. All right, and here's why it's weird is because this is actually the third time that I've done this. So we did a live podcast, and something happened 15 minutes in, and my internet took a dump or something, and the podcast went out. So it's no big deal. We did a second video, did the second half of the podcast over, posted that, went to go post the first half of the video that cut off 15 minutes deep, and it disappeared. It's nowhere to be found. And so now you're just staring at a blank screen as you kind of check me out here. Let's see if I can't get you something that you could look at least, instead of just looking at a blank screen. Here, you can look at part one that's uploading right there. Um, yeah, so I decided since part one disappeared and part two is uploading, I'll redo part one again. We'll make it a whole lot shorter this time around. This is a special edition of Press Pass Live. I know that we owe you a Press Pass Live for the end of the regular season and the playoffs. D-Way and I just have a hard time getting together, and we just were not able to do that, mainly because of me. Life has just been super busy. As you can hear, I've been super sick for the last month. This crazy weather. It's supposed to snow here. Guys, I live in Louisiana, in New Orleans. It shouldn't snow, but it's supposed to snow tomorrow. And so, yeah, just a lot of stuff going on. And I want to do a special State of the Union where we are as a league, as a community. And then in part two, we addressed some gameplay issues, some FPR issues, and some ideas that I had that I've presented. So, go check out part two. We'll link it in the video. I'll relink this video in part two. So if you watch part two first, you can come back and watch this one. Look, I've been rambling now for almost 2 hours, and an hour of it was to myself. And so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. This has been a really tough Madden. We took the steps that people asked us to take as we grew our community. Of course, the OMFL is over 18 years old, but the community is only about 3 years old. And so we got on Twitter and we really started to view ourselves as leaders. We tried to do Data League podcasts and all kinds of other stuff. And at the end of the day, the sentiment that is in our league, that has become very prevalent in our league, was all over Twitter, and it just drained me. And now I kind of stay away from Twitter. We haven't done the Daddy League roundtables just because everybody's really negative, and that negativity has affected our league. And I get it. Guys hate this game. I mean, they truly hate it. This has been the hardest Madden to keep people happy and to keep our league full. If you have a private conversation with me, asking me a question about how to do something, you've probably read me tell you whatever makes you the happiest. And I'm not being a butthole. I'm being totally honest with you. I've worked so hard on keeping people happy. Whatever keeps people happy, I will do it. You tell me what keeps you happy, I'll make it happen. At the end of the day, that's what I want. I want a full community, a fun community, a community where we're all together. I want to keep you happy. Um, so that negative sentiment has turned its way in here. I think I've said on one of these 50 billion podcasts I've done tonight is that I'm never going to micromanage the chat, never going to tell you what you can or can't say. But at the end of the day, I'm asking you guys as grown-ups, decide to either be here or not be here, play the game or don't play the game. I care. I'm not going to say I don't care. I want you to stay. But if you just hate it that much, I get it. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it, and let's get you to a place where your mental health is good. This is not supposed to be work. um, I think another rant that I went off on one of these other podcasts was, if you play a game, play the game. All right, this punting in the first quarter, taking a knee in the second quarter, you're wasting the other guy's time. You're making this a terrible experience for the other person. And if you are that unhappy that you have to make it a terrible experience for the other person, then you really need to think about leaving. And if you're not, and you're going to stay, and you're going to stay in this league, then stop complaining. Help us come up with solutions. And if you're going to play the game, play the game. This stuff that I've been told, I just can't put up with it. I don't care how long you've been here. if you do that, you're going to have to leave. I'm going to have that uncomfortable conversation with you. I'm going to be nice. I love you guys. I respect you. But we're going to talk about it, and you're going to have to go because you're not going to make this miserable for everybody else. Because I personally have been drained by the misery that people have voiced. And that leads me to my other point that I talked about, and that is that misery has made me lose two of uh, my board members, and in what I thought was the best board that we had ever had in 18 years. And I will also say we lost two people that I considered a friend and that I thought was my friend. But one maniac decided that he needed to step away from the board. He runs the OMFL too. It adds so much to our community. It's needed, and so I'd rather him run that and be happy um, than lose him completely. Um, and then of course we had another situation with Hude, where an owner and him got into it. The owner quickly left. His buddy left. I hate when buddies come and buddies leave together. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Um, and we've kind of had a little string of about 4 or 5 owners who've just abruptly left us. And I've said this tonight, but I'll say it again where it's recorded. The way you leave is more important than how you came. If you leave the wrong way, you will burn opportunities to return. I've invested a lot into this place, a ton into this place. And so if you leave without a conversation with me, if you leave without giving me an opportunity to make things better, if you leave abruptly, just out of emotion, it hurts chances for me to let you back in because to me, you'll just do it again. And it's just a lack of respect and just common courtesy to have a conversation. If you're unhappy and you want to talk about it, let's have a conversation. And if you just come to you need to go, perfectly fine. I'll go find an owner. Come back if things you get to a better place. Pepper has done that. Others here have done that. They just step away for a little bit, get to a better place where they're enjoying it, and they come back. Um, but if you're so miserable that you leave abruptly, um, it's going to be tough for me to let you back. I'm just being honest because that is not how you leave properly. So yeah, Maniac got into it with an owner. The owners left. Maniac was given several weeks to kind of chill and think about it and decided this place wasn't for him, and it sucks. We'll call a spade a spade. It blows. I thought Hude was my friend. I thought he was in this in the long haul with me, and he made the decision that he needed to go. So we're going to honor that, and I wish him well. Um, yeah, I hope that I hope that physically he feels better. Hude's a special guy here, and will probably one day go in the Hall of Fame here. He did a lot during his very small time here, and you know I wish he would be here for 15, 20 years. But at the end of the day, he made the decision that was best for him, and we have to move on. This league has moved on without me before. It will move on without all of us one day. Um, that's why we're building this community, investing into this place. Uh, this is the last time I kind of want to talk about it. You want to know details? Hit me up. I'll talk about it. I'm not shying away from it, but I'm not having a funeral every time I get on the chat. I get that some of you were close to him. Hude was a nice guy, but at the end of the day, he left and he decided to get off the ship. No one booted him. We got to move on. And we've got all these new guys I talk about in the second podcast who are excited about being here. Show them why they should be excited to be here. Why this is such a good place. Why this truly is a brotherhood over competition. Competition adds to that brotherhood, but this is truly brotherhood and friends first. And let's really change the overall vibe of the chat and of the league. So many guys did content this year. So many guys produced content and posted content, and it was as crappy as some things have been. We've also had some really awesome, amazing things, and some of the most activity that I've seen since the PC days. And that's just because we have a great league, a great community. And so help me. This is your community. Give me your ideas. Help me with the positivity. Help me with the vibe. help me make this place special. That's all I'm asking from you guys. Um, Dwayne is the unnamed kind of second in control here. He just brings a lot of positivity. Dawson's been a great addition to our board. Colin's come back to help us with some just nitpicky things that I just physically don't have the time. I just can't do. I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. Like all of you, I get busy, and right now I'm drowning. I talk about this in another podcast. I've got my pet projects here that I'm trying to do, and work, and off season, and commish, and watch videos, and like I can't do it all. And I do have some guys like Maniac and yeah, Ducks and Bill and Kevin's offered and Cincy Burger's offered. So many guys have offered to help behind the scenes, and I'm tagging some of you to help me. And as more things come up, I'll tag you some more. But at the end of the day, it takes a lot to run this place, um, a whole lot. And at the end of the day, it's I've got to figure out, is this thing costing me more than I'm getting out of it, right? In time, energy, effort, and money, time away from my family, all of it. Is it costing me more than I'm getting out of it? And I gotta be honest, season 75, it cost me way more than I got out of it. And that's gotta change if we're gonna continue longevity. And so the only way that's gonna change is with you guys' help and really keeping this place a fun place to be. So second podcast is posted. You can see that on the screen right now. Go watch that if you haven't. We talk about FPR. We talk about uh, trends. We talk about some suggestions that I have. I want to hear your feedback. I'll post both these videos so you guys can watch them. Sorry that we couldn't do this live. I'm sorry that the live one disappeared. All that fun stuff. But we'll get it on a thread. I want to hear back from you guys. I want to get your thoughts. I got a show to produce for the GFW, so I'm going to go do that and get my butt in bed. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Sorry that was 2 videos, but I appreciate you guys. A lot of love from old Nate here to all of you for spending your time and energy and money for some of you. Um, Look, I appreciate you guys a ton, and I work hard for you guys so that you to show that appreciation. So much love from me. Lots of time off coming. We'll play a lot of video games and veg out. Join the test franchise. I talk about that in podcast number 2. Help us test some things out. We'll get these things figured out. All right, fellas. Y'all have a great night. Deuces.